Hello everyone, this is Captain Dave with Simple Plan Trucking. We're coming at you from somewhere in Virginia, Harrisonburg, Virginia. We stopped finally. I feel like we've been running a road race for the last 4 or 5 days. I'm here with my trainer, Jacob, with JDQ Transportation, JDQ Transportation, and I can't tell you how happy I am to have gotten this guy. You know, as you know, I was on the truck with driver lineup for the first half of my training, and we had some mechanical problems on the truck, major mechanical problems that we thought were just going to be a couple days and we'd back on the road, but it turned out that it was one thing and then another thing and another thing, and then after 2 or 3 days in Springfield, I called him and said, listen, I'm going to head on home because I had to wrap some things up with my previous employer, closing out my last job. So I did that, and lo and behold, no one would ever have thought that the problems with the truck led to being at home for a month. And so I say it all the time, and it's so true, that in this job, in this any profession really, but specifically in trucking, you have to plan for the unexpected, and you have to be able to roll with the punches, because sure enough, whatever you think is going to happen usually doesn't happen. And so I was
unless it's a bad thing, then it's going to happen.
Yeah, the bad things are, that's Murphy's Law, right? Yeah. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. But so I finally got a hold of Justin, my fleet manager, and I said, hey, I hate to do it because I think Eric's been an awesome trainer, but I really just need to get back on the road. And he understood. And so it was funny because I first asked him about Jake, and he said, oh no, he has a trainer right now, he's unavailable. And
yeah, that didn't work out too well, but I'm not going to get into that, not on here.
And then a day or two later, he called me back and said, well, you know, we got Jacob for you, and he's going to finish out your training. I thought, great, because while we didn't know each other, we were familiar with each other, and we had spoken some, being on Discord and through YouTube. So YouTube is just a real benefit for anybody, really, just to network and get to know people. So here I am. We've been on the truck, what, 4 or 5 days now since I joined you?
Oh, something like that.
Something like that. And he's got that.
These days kind of run together since I've been running that night shift.
Right. And we'll talk about how we've been running in a minute. But, you know, his mind is significantly younger than mine is. So I asked him if he would just kind of give us a recap of when he picked me up and what we've done since then. It's pretty impressive, I think. So we talk for a minute.
So the load that I had when I picked up Captain Dave, I picked it up in a town called Northeast Pennsylvania. Picked that up and then ran down, picked him up, and then we scooted down to Winter Haven to a Walmart to go deliver. Left the Walmart, went to Bradenton, Florida to pick up a juice load. Brought that to Denver, Colorado. Dropped that at our drop yard because we were like a day and a half early on it because we was just running. Which that's the way I like to run anyway. Run hard in case winter weather, traffic, anything. So we ended up being able to scoop up a load off the Denver yard, bring it 20 miles up the road to Henderson, Colorado. Then we picked up one of them Fight Clubs. You know, first rule about Fight Clubs, you don't talk about Fight Club. So we picked it up in this undisclosed location, brought it to another undisclosed location. Then we picked up in Covington, Tennessee, and here we are in Harrisonburg, Virginia, on our way up to Hazleton, Pennsylvania. Right.
It's been a whirlwind, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we've been averaging like 1,000+ miles a day.
Right. And so when I came back on the truck, I only have about 10,000 miles to go, and then, you know, hopefully I'll be able to get into upgrade. And I kind of had in my mind that if we could do 5,000 miles a week, it'd take us 2 weeks to get done.
Oh shit, and that's easy. Because right now, after we deliver this load, you'll be at like 5,184 miles left, I believe. If my memory's correct.
It is, because I verified it when I went in there. So yeah, it's amazing. And so we're just hoping that we can just keep on this roll and keep running like this. And it's been kind of messed with my mind a little bit, because my first half of the training was vastly different than how it is now with Jacob. And I'm starting to believe that I got off of Eric's truck at that time when it is time to flip the switch and start doing it all yourself, because you have to be able to do all these things on your own. And Jacob has put me in the position to do that, and I'm so thankful for that. I mean,
and like I tell him at the start of every shift, don't hesitate. If you gotta wake me up, rip the curtains open, scream and holler, throw something at me, throw a boot, I don't care, just get me up.
He's been great, and I do my best not to. I always feel bad, but yesterday was a real good example. We got to a load when I had to drop a trailer, and then pick the load up, get the new trailer hooked up, and then we had to move those tandems. And for any of you that are any familiar with it at all, it's one of the things that new drivers struggle with a lot, getting the tandems in the right location to distribute the load so that you're not overweight. Thankfully, our weight was okay yesterday, and we thought for a minute we might have to drive an hour to get to a CAT scale to check our weight and maybe come back and have it reworked.
Yeah, and see, the funny thing about me is whenever someone, I like to be hands-on, so it was taking everything about Mike to stay back there and explain to him how to slide the tandems.
That's the mark of a great trainer, and I got to tell you, he's new in training, but he's just doing a great job.
Yeah, because you're going to be the first student that actually finished.
Yeah, so...
But second student altogether.
It's funny too. But we talked about it yesterday, how, you know, you can't come in with any preconceived notions either. I knew Jacob was a younger guy, but I had no idea how old you were until I asked you.
Right.
Do you mind me saying how old?
Not at all.
Jacob's 22 years old. So I was blown away because he has the maturity of a much older person, and he has the drive and the work ethic of somebody that you generally don't see in his generation. Right. And I think that's sad for the youth of our country, but he's got it. He grew up on a farm. He learned how to work hard at a young age, and that's come through now in how he drives and how I drive with him, because it is literally to the wall all day long. He drives his, you know, we tried to drive either 8.5 or 9 hours, and then my 10-hour break is up. I jump into the seat. He takes his 10-hour break, and back and forth and back and forth. As much as we can, we do that. It's been amazing.
Right. And then see, last night with the mishap that we had, that was supposed to be a live load, but turned into a drop-and hook, so we had to go 30 miles out the way to go get fuel for the reefer. And this whole time this is going on, I'm trying to sleep as much as I can back there, because I know I'm going to end up having to drive soon.
Yeah.
So whenever we got this load proposed, I had just finished my shift. Yeah. And I didn't want to go to sleep because I wanted to see what load we were going to get.
That was a little bit of a disappointment, but yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So we get this load, which is a good paying load. It's got decent miles on it, and we can drop it. We're going to be dropping it tonight. So I'm staying up because I know this place. I've been there before, and it's a little tricky to get to, can be. And the banking situation is
And so, you know, my clock doesn't come back here for another 10 minutes or so. So we had the opportunity to make this video, and then we'll be rolling out. I guess we're about 4 hours from the 90. Is that right?
4.5.
4.5 hours.
4.5, something like that. And because we do have to stop for fuel. And we're at some point on the way.
Yeah.
But mileage-wise is about a little over 4 hours.
And I got the fueling down now. And yesterday was a fiasco too. So it was like 20 degrees, blowing outside, freezing rain coming down. Jacob's asleep in the back, and I'm bound and determined I'm not going to wake him up. I got the fueling down. I know how to do it. Bam, I get in there, and my card didn't work. So I said, dang it. I said, man, I need your card. Okay, he handed his card through, tried it with his card, didn't work. Tried it 2 more times, and you know, you probably don't realize it, but it's kind of a process to put in all the information to get fuel on a truck.
Definitely.
And
so you got the truck number, trailer number, trip number, cash advance, extra products, this, that.
Lots of buttons to push. So I'm completely frustrated at this point because I ran back and forth into the truck stop 3 times to talk to the people. Well, try it again, try it again, try it again. Finally, I'm like, something's not working. Y'all need to come out here with me. So the manager came out in his rain slicker, and we're both like getting blown away out there, freezing rain going sideways like this. And he said, oh, looks like the pump isn't working. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm guy, but I wanted to punch the guy at this time. I said, I told you 3 times the pump wasn't working. Yeah. So what should have been 15 minutes at the truck stop ended up being more than an hour, but I was eventually able to get the truck fueled, then get back probably an hour because the weather was bad and the roads were getting slick.
Yeah, it was
And then we picked up our ice cream load, which, by the way, is the set for the ice cream is negative 15 degrees in the reefer. So that reefer's kicking back there, keeping that ice cream rock cold.
Whenever we finally got there, and you know, I'm trying to catch cat naps, but my mind is not letting me. So I'm finally fall asleep for maybe 30 seconds. And then this is after the tandem situation. Felt like 30 seconds. He's, hey, I got something for you for waking you up. I didn't even know what it was. And keep in mind, because it's dark outside and I don't have no lights on in the cab, especially in the bunk. So I grabbed, I was like, oh, that's a pint of ice cream. That's going in the freezer. I didn't even look at what flavor it was till just now.
And you told me it was one of your favorites.
Yes.
Right? So at this
and then after that, try to go to sleep, and then I probably slept maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's why I shut down early, because it's just, I couldn't go no more.
Yeah, and you just have to do what you have to do.
But I still did put down like over 400 miles and drove out 8 hours.
And we're advancing the freight. And Correct. We're going to get it there today, and we're going to get another load and ease on down the road.
That's right.
But, you know, he touched on the ice cream thing, and I'm glad you remembered to talk about that, because at this customer, when you pick up load, they have an ice cream cooler in their freezer in there, and they encourage you to take something. They give you something for free, all the drivers that come in.
I went there like a couple months ago, and I never knew that.
I didn't either, but I saw it over there. I thought maybe it was for sale.
Yeah. And
another driver came in and just took something out, and the guy's like, yeah, you can have one free item out of there, because I was going to get one for me and one for you. So he said one free item. I said, cool. So because I had woken him up so many times, and I knew he was tired, I knew he needed to sleep, I thought it might help a little bit. And you know, when I was on Eric's truck, and now, and even with Jacob, it's so important that you respect your co-driver, that you look out for your co-driver, either your trainer or your trainee, and communicate, because people talk all the time about how you don't see many videos in TNT, and I completely understand why that is now.
Yeah.
It's stressful out here. And it's stressful for the trainee, because they're learning and they're uncomfortable and they're trying to impress their trainer so that they can get a good report and get out and get on the road. And it's stressful for the trainer, because I saw somebody commented on Discord today, trainers never sleep, just for the kind of situation that we had yesterday. It's fine when you're just driving the truck and can switch out like that. So for that reason, cross-country loads are great.
For the long hauls are nice, but it's the little short hops that's when the sleep begins to get few and far between.
So all in all, yesterday, I felt good that I did what I did. I felt bad because I needed his supervision to talk me through all of it. But when I came back and reviewed it, I thought, you know, I need to feel good about that, because I did everything.
You actually woke me up and asked questions instead of trying to wing it and possibly mess something up. Yeah,
exactly. So it's always going to be stressful. It's always a learning experience, and I know that even after I upgrade, and hopefully my wife's not listening to this right now, but I'm sure she will be. She and I will be learning from each other on the road, because you're never ready.
And then the 30,000 miles, in my opinion, it's just not enough. 50,000 is pushing it on the verge of being enough.
I don't think,
because there's a lot to learn, especially like reefer and flatbed, being that I've had experience in both now. Whenever I came through PSD and TNT, I was flatbed. I just recently switched to reefer like 7 months ago. But it's, especially on the reefer side, now that I've been running it for a while, and now that I'm actually a trainer on the reefer side, there's a lot that you got to learn, and a lot of it you're going to end up having to learn on your own.
And as I said, he's a young guy, he's a smart guy, he's quick. I have this theory that for every 5 years of age difference, your ability with technology and computers increases tenfold. So yet I'm over here with my glasses on, punching the buttons on the Qualcomm one at a time.
And this here Joker, I am just coming out the curtain, just woke up, one eye open, pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I hope to get like that, but I don't know if I'll ever be that quick. So I'm sure it has to be frustrating for him. I probably took at least twice as long, probably even more than he would have at that place yesterday, but it was a learning experience.
That's why I'm not stressing about it. This load has plenty of time on it.
And we'll do it today again.
You're the driver.
I'm the driver now. I'm going to take it in, so I get to go through that process all over again. Now today it's a drop and hook. So for those of you that are new on the channel, don't know what that means, is our load is not going to be unloaded live. I'm not going to back into a door, open the doors, back it in, and they take the product off the truck. What we're going to do is we're going to drive onto the yard. I will drop the trailer, and leave the reefer running with the freezer, and then we just go and we pick up another trailer and head on out. And you know, from a trucker's point of view, that's money there. That's sweet, because you have so much time that gets wasted sitting and waiting to be loaded or unloaded at shippers and receivers. So we feel good about that. And so, you know, 5 hours from now probably we'll have our next load. We're hoping to get something with lots of miles and lots of revenue, and these on down the road. So, you know, another week, maybe another 10 days, and
no offense to Captain Dave here, but I'm ready for him to get finished, because I have been on the road since the day after Christmas. So it's coming up on the 2-month mark that I've been on the road. But single with no kids, I can do that. But I'm due for a couple weeks back at the house.
I completely understand that, but again, that plays to my benefit, because you're motivated too for me to get done.
Right, and then it's not just trying to finish your miles either. It's trying to help you learn as much as we can in these last few thousand miles.
Exactly, and that's what's great. I mean, it's worked out so well for both of us, because we had some loads that were just a little bit of money. It was but some have been great. I'd say your revenue has been really good for the time that we've been on the truck overall.
So far, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but granted, the Tropicana load, it generally doesn't pay a whole lot.
Yeah.
But we were able to drop it, snag another one, and bring it 19 miles up the road for like 40 bucks.
Some would say we've been lucky. I would say we've been blessed, because for me, God takes care of me. He puts things in my life, and sometimes I don't always understand it, but it's always a blessing for me. And this young man has truly been a blessing. We're going to knock this stuff out. We're going to finish it, and hopefully we're going to maintain this relationship for a long time.
Definitely.
Great guy. Anybody coming to Prime and you would like to have somebody to train you, eventually he'll do PSD. Right now he's just doing the TNT version.
I think I'm end up just sticking with TNT though.
Okay, because you're good at it. But yeah.
Right.
But so he's a great trainer, and I would highly recommend him. You can ask about him through my channel. You can check him out on his channel, JDQ Transportation. If you like what you heard today, please leave me a comment. Give me some ideas about some other subjects that you'd like us to look into, or some questions that I can answer for you. Jacob would be happy to answer them as well. Ring the bell so you get you know, alerted when there's more content, and please subscribe to the channel. It's been great talking with you. Thanks, brother.
No problem.
And we'll get another video out to you just as soon as we can. This is Captain Dave, Simple Plan Trucking. God bless you, take care, and be safe out there.
See y'all later. Y'all be safe.